Hey, what's going on, comic compadres, and welcome back to the Hoodrat podcast. And we're here at San Diego Comic-Con 2023, right here in sunny San Diego. And I got one of my good friends, Gene. Gene
Awesome.
from Shortboxed, man.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man.
It's good to see you, bro.
It feels good to be back in San Diego. It always feels good. It's like a homecoming.
Yeah, man. It's always good to see the family, man. It's like just walk around, bumping into everybody, saying what's up. And, you know, sometimes you haven't seen people for like 4 years because of the pandemic, and now we're kind of back to normal. We're not wearing masks this year, right?
Yeah, you can see people's faces now. I mean, this is my favorite part about cons is that you're just hanging out, and it's really more about the community, right? Sure, it's like we're here promoting Shortboxed. You know, we're here with a lot of our customers here, but really it's about seeing friends with the community, people you're friends with on YouTube or Instagram or social media, and being able to connect with them face to face. It's just awesome. That's my favorite part of coming to cons.
And it's the hub, right? Like it's like friends you have on the East Coast, you see them here on the West Coast, and if you go to NYCC, then you see them over there, right?
It's funny, you know, we do so many cons, and I see a lot of friends from the community more than I see, you know, some of my own family.
Yeah.
That you might only see a couple times a year, and I see friends in the community like every month or every few weeks, and so just I love being here at cons.
That's awesome, man. But we're here to talk to Gene, get to know Gene a little bit more, and one thing that comes to mind is like, Gene, man, like, when did you start collecting comics, bro?
Oh man, I mean, I'm a lifelong collector. As long as I can remember. I'm fortunate enough where I have an older brother that's a few years older than me, and so when I was 4 years old, he was a few years older and he was buying comics, and so I grew up with Frank Miller's Dark Knight, with the Punisher Limited series. You know, those were the series that I grew up with. Definitely not child appropriate for a 4 and 5 year old, but you know, those are the first comics that I remember reading and collecting when I was little, and so I've been exposed to comics my entire life, and it's one of those things that has stuck with me throughout my entire life. And you know, you go through periods where you get really into it, maybe you fall out of it a little bit, and then you come back and it comes back with a vengeance. And so to me, comic books are they're a part of my life, right? It's something that I identify with, and I'm sure you do, and a lot of other folks watching this also do. And so, you know, comic books have always been there for me my whole life.
Do you have any favorite books or any favorite arcs that you that come to mind?
Oh man, so it's this is such a loaded question because there's so many different ways to answer that. This may not be the sexiest answer, but so I'm a huge Batman fan. I've read virtually every single Batman run, all the major arcs and everything, and I have to say that the Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo run is a run that I have read multiple times. Because it is that good. And the reason why I say this may not be a sexy answer is because it's a really modern, it's a new run, and you don't expect something that new to be that good and that transformative and that impactful to the Batman lore. And his entire run, their entire run, to me is just, I almost feel bad saying it, but it's probably one of the best Batman runs of all time.
It is. So, I mean, I agree, man. I agree totally.
Good. All right, you're on the same page as me then.
I'm on the same page, man. Tell me, man, like, what did you do before Shortboxed? That's a question I always have.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. You know, I get asked that a lot from folks. I haven't always been working on Shortboxed, so just professionally, I've worked in tech my entire career. I'm from San Francisco, so I've worked for a lot of high-growth startups, some of the biggest software companies in the world, and so I'm a technologist, I'm a hacker, and my co-founder and I are both, you know, we're both hackers, we're both technologists, and a few years ago, we decided to embark on this journey to build Shortboxed because, again, being lifelong collectors, we were bloggers, we were community builders, we became dealers ourselves, and so we spent years, you know, building community and buying and selling, becoming dealers, and we found ourselves just always complaining just about how hard and complicated it is to do something as simple as buy and sell a comic book. Right, we all have our complaints about, you know, eBay and other old sort of, you know, antiquated platforms, and so just being technologists and software people ourselves, we couldn't understand why there wasn't a modern, innovative platform, a mobile-first platform to buy and sell comic books. And so, you know, we decided to just build it ourselves. And here we are, you know, 3.5 years later. 3.5 years
later, man. Like, how is it different, like, than, like, eBay and, like, you know, selling on, like, Instagram or selling on, like, you know, whatnot? Like, what makes Shortboxed different?
Yeah, no, like I said, those are all very different platforms. Really what makes Shortboxed so unique is that we're focused solely on comic books. we only allow people to buy and sell comic books on our platform. So because of that, it allows us to build very specific features and user experiences that are unique to just comic book collectors.
Yeah.
So when you look at product listings, we're showing census data, we're showing recent and historical sales, we're showing FMV ranges, we're showing all the metadata and all the label notes on all the books. And so because we're able to build such a unique, specific experience for comic book collectors, it makes the buying experience easier, better, faster, just across the board. It's just a really fantastic and really rewarding and kind of satisfying experience for comic book buyers and sellers. And also being able to list books for sale for sellers, it's the fastest and easiest way to list a book for sale. You literally just scan the front of the slab, scan the back, and we pull all the metadata, all the information. You don't have to create a listing. You could literally list a book in 10 seconds.
If you have a seller, how do you verify that seller? Because I know that's something very unique to like Shortboxed, is that you actually verify who the seller is, right? Like,
we approve all seller accounts. So a lot of it depends on are they seasoned sellers? Are they eBay power sellers? Are they known dealers? Were they referred from other folks? Are they verified PayPal users? There's just various levers that we have just to make sure, hey, this person's not scamming, it's not a random bot, it's an actual person. We do some loose identity verification. We verify their phone numbers to make sure it's real and it's not a bot signing up. And so there's a few different things that we do to verify, sellers.
And that's something like I like about Shortboxed is because I think every seller by name. Like they're actual people in the community that you actually.
It's getting a little harder now because there's so many. But definitely when we started, it was really cool to know everyone by name. And obviously now as we grow, there's more and more people coming. So now it's just sort of the Shortboxed ecosystem and family is just growing at a much more rapid rate. But it's really cool, again, to go to cons like this, to meet with our buyers and sellers in person is amazing. And, we can't do that, just sitting in the office. So it's nice to put a face to
that's
a
awesome,
name.
man. You're kind of creating like a Shortboxed community.
Oh, it's great. Our community is amazing. And again, we're all comic book collectors. And so, everyone in the company, we're all collectors ourselves. I mean, our engineers, ops, support, everyone across the board is a collector. So it's really easy for us to connect with our customers.
Was that something that you wanted to do, is create this community, or did it just kind of happen?
No, that's a great question. So the interesting thing is that, I mentioned that my co-founder BJ and I, we've been involved in the comic book community for years, for almost a decade before we even built Shortboxed, because we were blogging, we were dealers. So we had already been fostering community, whether it was in person, online, or through Instagram. So we were already building sort of the Shortboxed brand and community. And then we decided to build the app and layer on a marketplace on top of that. And so, it's tough because, you would think that you would build a marketplace first and start building community. We sort of started the opposite way, where we started fostering community first, and then we built a business on top of it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man, because I know, like, for me, as a seller and a buyer and a comic connoisseur, like, Shortboxed has always kind of been, like, the hub. It's like, hey, guys, where are we going to meet, man? Let's just meet at Shortboxed. It's like, and we all kind of
I love that. I love just when we're at cons and when people just come to the Shortboxed but just to hang out, give people a place to sit even, or just to congregate, or just meet up with other friends. And we want to be that hub. We want to be, the center of the community where people can feel safe and comfortable meeting not just us, but meeting other people in the community as well. And so just being connectors, within the community is super important to us.
So let's talk about San Diego Comic-Con. It's Thursday.
Yes.
And so we had preview night. What big books have been moving, man?
Oh, man. It's a really interesting time now for comic book collectors because, during the COVID effect, prices kind of, they spiked up. They got, into the nosebleed area where we all know, that wasn't necessarily sustainable over time. So I think we're obviously seeing a course correction now. And a lot of collectors are realizing that now is actually a good time to be buying the big keys that they felt like were out of reach over the past 12 to 18 months or so. So we're actually seeing, mid 4 to 5 figure books, selling now because people have been holding off. And they're kind of waiting to see if this is normal, if things are going to come down further. So it feels like this seems like we're in a safe area for people to enter. And so I think the coolest book that sold out of our booth this weekend from one of our dealers that was consigning with us, we sold a Star Wars 1, a 35-cent price variant. Which is, for me, I'm a Star Wars nerd.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And just to even have a 35-cent price variant in the booth, to me, it was super cool. And I knew that having it on the wall, it just looks like a regular Star Wars 1 until someone goes up and they either see the price.
And they kind of got to look closer.
And then they look at the 35 cent, they're like, and sort of like the bells go off. And so I had a pretty good feeling that book wasn't going to last all weekend. And it sold, within the first hour of preview night opening. This guy was eagle-eyed. He was just walking by and he was like, hold on. Walked up and closer, saw the price. He was like, that doesn't make sense. Looked up, saw the 35 cents, and he was like, holy crap. I need one of these. I never see these, and he just pulled the trigger right off the bat. So.
Man, if you guys don't know, like if you're a Star Wars collector of comics,
That's the one.
that is the Mega Grail.
Yeah.
That is the Mega Grail. Every time you come up to see a Star Wars #1, you're always looking for that.
Absolutely.
Like, that's the first thing you look for.
Yeah.
Hey man, tell me about the future of Shortboxed. What do you see the future happening? We're here in July 2023. What do you see? What do you see Shortboxed in July 2024?
Yeah, so we're growing fast. You know, we are the fastest growing platform for buying and selling comic books. We just launched a lot of amazing features really recently. Literally last week, we opened up raw books to all sellers. And so, previously, if you guys don't know, we only allowed graded comic books to be bought and sold. We just expanded out to all raw books, so that's big. We really recently launched our price guide. It's a free pricing tool where you can research books and see recent sales and historical sales.
That's awesome.
And then now I announced this at our show back in May at Shortboxed Live. We're going to be working on auctions. So we'll be adding auctions to the Shortboxed platform in a couple months. Yeah.
But I for me as a seller, you guys opening up to raw books is awesome, because the thing about it is people trust, sellers on Shortboxed, is you guys not only verify the seller, but you verify the books.
Right.
Right. And Shortboxed would be a place where I would want to buy a raw book rather than the other platforms.
And that's really what we're trying to build is just, we had to find a new way for people to feel safe buying raw books. And so like you said, for the higher value raw books, they automatically come to us first. And we verify them. Again, we're not CGC or CBCS. We're not authenticators. But what we're doing is making sure, hey, is this the exact book that was in the listing? We want to make sure it's the same exact copy. Does this fall in line with the grade? Let's say you're a seller and you list a book at 7.0 and we get it. Is this within a fair and acceptable range of that? What we're looking for are outliers. Is there a centerfold missing? Is there a massive chunk missing not out there? Like, did you call it a 9.8 and it's clearly a 7.0? Like, we're really looking for those outliers. And again, this protects both buyers but as well as sellers, because frankly, there might be some sellers that just maybe they don't know how to grade. You have to give people the benefit of the doubt. They may not necessarily be out scamming people. And if they are, then they do get banned from the platform.
But
so, it's about building protections.
But it's good to have like a professional verifier. And that's something I trust, and I think other people also trust. And one more question, man. This is something that's been going on that I've been thinking about for a while. How do you think like artificial intelligence, AI, is going to change the way we buy and sell?
That is the $1 million question right now. There's a lot of ways that it can play a role in the hobby, and I just had a good discussion about this recently where there is an opportunity. I think maybe this is semi-controversial, but there is an opportunity for AI to play a role in grading comic books. Right, it may seem a little far-fetched, a little hard, but it's actually in the realm of possibility, because I'm going to oversimplify this, but quote unquote, all you need is a data set of millions and millions of comic book images across every single grade range and a structured database, and you can build a model to train itself to learn how to grade that book based on that. But I think the ultimate goal would not necessarily be to build a tool just to grade a comic book without any human oversight. Right, it's really hard and complicated to grade a comic book, but to use it to assist, to verify, to authenticate, making sure you're not looking for any major defects or maybe looking for restoration that's not disclosed. Just little things like that. I think using AI as a tool to assist the human grading element, I think is going to be a really, really powerful thing that'll probably happen a lot sooner than people think.
I mean, man, things are already changing.
They accelerate really quickly.
AI is changing the world within like the last 6 months.
Right.
And I'm just feeling like it's going to change the way we buy and sell books.
Absolutely, and also just from a perspective of scale, using AI to assist with even customer support. People wanting to just get order statuses, shipping updates, stuff like that. Something that AI is really, really good at, and something that's already in their own possibility, and something that we're already building and working on. So there's a lot of really cool, intelligent ways that we can use AI to really just sort of assist the minor tasks around the peripheries, at least for us internally. But ultimately, what that means is things will move a lot faster. Things will go through the system a little bit quicker. It'll be overall more efficient. It'll be able to list books faster, sell faster, and all that good stuff. So, again, I may be a little biased because I'm a technologist myself. I'm a little bit of an optimist, so I think there is a place for AI to play a role in this industry. All
right, that's awesome, man. But before we leave, man, I have 3 questions that Hood wants to know about Gene.
Yeah.
First question: favorite book in your collection?
Oh gosh, how does one answer? It's like asking who your favorite kid is.
Yeah, I know.
I do have an answer though.
All right.
I already mentioned that I'm a Batman collector. I'm a huge Batman guy. And a couple years ago, I was incredibly fortunate and lucky to acquire a Detective Comics 31.
Wow.
So just very early classic Batman cover. That's one book that is going to stay in the collection, and it's going to be really hard to pry away from me.
Better keep that in the vault, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Favorite book not in your collection?
Oh man. You know what? Captain America #1 is a holy grail of mine.
Okay.
It's everyone knows what Cap 1 is. That's one book that's just always been out of reach for me, and it's such an important book. Yaniv knows. He has a Cap 1. You can't see him off camera.
The best book of all time. You're gonna get it soon.
I hope so.
Yeah. I'll trade you mine for the company. Would you do it?
We'll talk.
We'll talk. All right.
So there you go. Yeah, Cap 1 is a holy grail book for me.
And last question, man. This may sound a little judgmental, but favorite rock band could be any genre.
Oh man, favorite rock band. You know what?
Any genre.
I don't want to be super basic, but I gotta go with Queen.
Oh, that's.
Queen
I gotta go. I gotta give you props, man.
Yeah, dude. It's just, how can you not? How can you not?
Gene will rock you, man.
There you go.
Gene will rock
Nice.
you. Hey, but I want to thank Gene. And if you guys are here at San Diego Comic-Con, you can find him at booth 1105, right? 1105. Right outside of B1. And you can go to shortboxed.com, right?
Yeah, and you can find us on Apple App Store and Android App Store. You just download the app for free.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.